Hey everyone, guess what? We are here with Mike Sugars. He is in a band
Hello.
called Psycho Frame. Psycho Frame have recently um, signed with SharpTone Records, and I say recently because all know how these things go. We sign, and then it's months, sometimes years before anything really comes out. Mike, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come and chat with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I've been listening to these like lead singles. And let me, for all you out there, they have a new album coming out July 25th on Sharptone. It's Salvation Laughs in the Face of a Grieving Mother.
It's a mouthful.
It
And
it
that was right.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so like these first few singles coming off, oh my God, dude.
Thank
Like,
you.
oh,
Yeah. No, that's and I mean that's kind of the mission statement, right, of the band. Like, boom, that's kind of what we do. So like with the singles, the whole album, really, we were just like, we're just gonna try and make that but bigger. Like, and the album as a whole is our answer to that. And I love the record. I think we did a really good job. And now we're less than a month away from the world deciding if we did a good job.
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, looking at like the streaming numbers, I think the world is on board with what Psycho Frame has going on.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Well, and let me even like elaborate a little further. So I go to pre-order one of the vinyl and literally all of the vinyl CDs and tapes are all sold out.
Yep.
That
Yep.
is that's the world saying, okay, we're like ready.
And that like that feels really good. Like you can never know what to expect. And like your previous metric of what your last thing did like is never a 100% guarantee that that will happen again, because like, before going into this album, the band had two EPs, and then we put out like a double single in the spring, and those went really well. But when you're a band that has been around as long as us, which isn't very long at all, you just can't know for sure. Like, we do operate with like a certain level of uncertainty. So like we're just like making the best thing that we can and hoping for the best. And like, yeah, I could speak for myself and everybody else and say that like this is going really well. And like we are really happy with like the reception. And like it's it is like a little overwhelming, because like we only started the band 2 years ago, and it wasn't under the intention of taking it seriously. So like the fact that like people were so excited about the band was like, I don't know, it was just awesome. And so like, I really hope that people like this record, because we put our whole ass into it. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's better the whole ass than half ass, right? Like
that's right.
I think that's where a lot of bands, especially a lot of like newer bands, like fall short. Like they put it out there, but they don't necessarily give it their all. And I feel like, what you guys have, you have given it your all. And I say but I don't think it's just me. I think there's a lot of people out there who are honestly on the Psycho Frame train, just looking at, again, everything you guys had up for pre-sales is sold out. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. We did start a second press, just like a new colorway, and like that one's not sold out. So if that's not sold out, by the time we're on air with this, people can get that. So um, I do want to make sure that like people can get like this thing in their hands if they want it. So like we 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 are working on more things like that and trying to make it so that there's more for people to get, because um I mean, we're a band, at the end of the day, you just want to reach as many people as you can. And like, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But I want there to be something for people to have when they're in on the band because
For sure.
because I care, I guess.
Well, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I would say, yes, you care. Obviously, I think you care because you guys, again, have a really, really solid music, not even effort. Like, I think all the music is real solid and it shows that. But on the other side of that, what a lot of people don't really think about is what is a band? A band is a business. At the end of the day, you need the things to put into people's hands so you as a band can continue to do those things.
This is correct. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it would be so awesome if we could all just be like, yeah, I'm in a band and we play everywhere all the time. How much do you make? We don't have to make money. Like we play music. This is the best thing
yeah.
ever.
I wish. I wish.
Yeah.
I hate money.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, I really don't hate it. I like the good that it can do when it's used correctly.
Sure. Yeah.
So like with Psycho Frame being so new, what was the catalyst behind, hey, let's do this thing?
Um, Kind of just like following like what I consider like a good blueprint, which is like really good first demo EP. Like you just kind of are coming into it. You're like, we're gonna do this thing because it's something we really want to do. It's fun. For us, like this group of people never got to like be in a band exactly like this, or like maybe never even done something like completely adjacent to it. Um, so we were like, good first EP, better second EP. Well, now it's time for the album because if we do another EP, like sure we could do another EP and like maybe that does like pretty well or whatever, but I am of the thinking that like your first LP is like your flag on the moon, and like that is like that's what you got. Like so to us, like we put off doing an LP for some time while already having put out an LP's worth of music just from previous releases, because we know that that first one is like, hey, this is it. We are saying this is like the defined release, and any LP that a band does going forward, in my point of view, is like, okay, this is like your next chapter. This is your new thing, stuff like that. Even if like you're playing similar music, you're not trying to change it up. I still think of it as like the next chapter or the next evolution of a band and stuff like that. So to me, the album is like the most actualized version of what we set out to do from the very beginning. So this is the flag on the moon. And I'm glad we did it that way because if like yeah, my own perspective, right? Like these are things I've worked on. So like my perception is skewed in some way. But like when I look at like our first releases, if I thought of those 12 songs from the first two EPs and I said, why don't we just say that's an album and we put that out first? I don't think I would be entirely happy. Whereas with
I
this, I feel so like I feel like it is very whole, and like my satisfaction level with it is like through the roof. So I'm like, yes, this is the album. And yeah, that is the blueprint uh for to me, but I think everyone in the band shares that.
That's pretty awesome. Like I like that you thought so like deep and intent about like we could take these two EPs and turn it into an album and release it. But the drive to write another album and put that out there, you know, twofold, right? One, it shows you guys have plenty of like creative stuff coming out of your fingers, magic or whatever that is.
Yeah.
It also gives you the opportunity to go back and say, hey, we're going to re-release these and do it this way, which creates more stuff for you guys like on the road.
Yeah, and that is something that we could possibly revisit. I don't know if we will. That's just like that's not something that's like on our radar right now. But there would be some moving parts with that, but like it's not impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. It also gives people like a little of the, hey, I got to go back and figure out where this started from and see that progression, which is
Right.
really cool.
And like so again, have not been a band for long, so there's like not a lot of opportunity like in the scheme of time for people to, if people are getting into it now, the like records and things that we did while we were doing like the first two EPs, like in the band's inception and stuff, you can't get that from us. That's gone. Um, you know, you can, maybe if you're on like some Facebook groups, like, trading vinyl and stuff like that, maybe that's something you can do. But like, again, that even kind of like comes back to the whole, like, I do want like the band to be accessible, and like I want people to be able to get things. Um, but there are some things from the past, uh, and it's not the distant past, but there are things from the past that like, well, we're already past that and moving on. So like
Yeah,
that is something I would entertain in the future, but like moving parts, stuff would have to get figured
absolutely.
out.
Yeah. Well, it's so wild to think, like in the grand scheme of things, you guys haven't been together very long. So I guess those first two EPs kind of are in the distant past for the lifespan of the band, you know?
Yeah, I mean, again, like already an album's worth of music between two EPs. There's 14 songs if you add the singles that we put out in the spring. So we're gonna have 25, 26, 25 songs out by the time the record comes out. So like that's a lot of music in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
So like there's also that part of me. It's like, what if we didn't write for a little bit and we just and we just played what we have because I'm sick of writing.
Yeah. Well, I understand that too, but again, you guys already have, so much material that you do have, the opportunity to really focus on giving, salvation the best push behind it possible,
Totally. Yeah.
you
So
know.
we're gonna be touring a lot and uh trying to, again, just get it to as many people as we can, like really try and give this thing like the most earnest effort we can. And like, yeah, just hope that, people latch on and they like it, and um, just do our best.
Hell yeah. So what does like the next 6 months look like for you guys right now?
So, starting on the 25th of July, we start a tour with Boundaries, Stick to Your Guns, and Gates to Hell. And that's going to be full US, you know, um, and super excited for that because I'm really good friends with all the guys in Boundaries. I've toured with them multiple times before in different bands, and I love them. And like their rise is like very meteoric, like on this last record that they've put out, like done a lot of really, really cool shit. And um, yeah, so when they kind of gave us that offer, I was like, it's an absolute no brainer. Like, we
Yeah,
do that. Um, and I just think like with that lineup, like, dude, like those four bands, like for one show, like if I'm a show goer, like this is like one of the coolest shows you can see. Like, good
yeah.
lineup. All these bands are fucking awesome live. So like,
Absolutely love Gates to Hell, dude. Like,
dude, they they rip. They rip ass live. They are
yeah,
fucking good. And and I'm excited to see them on their new record that had like it just came out, like what, not even
like a
like two
month ago
months
or
ago,
something.
like
No, it
not
was
even
just
two
last
months.
month. It was in
Yeah,
May, I think. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm excited to see them like, playing on new material and stuff. That record's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that release show, I feel like it was sold out, dude. It was
the
at
one in Louisville. Yeah.
yeah, with internal bleeding, and I don't remember the other couple of bands on there, but so that's where I live. I live in Louisville.
Nice, nice.
Uh, I had a ticket to that show, and something came up, and I was like, no.
Darkness, such is life. Many such
Yep,
cases.
yeah, that's
Um,
the truth.
but yeah, we're doing that tour, and then we are going to Europe with Malevolence, Speed, and Dying Wish. Again,
Another killer bill, dude. Like,
another killer bill. If I'm a show goer, I see this bill and I'm like, this is a good show. And like, um, I'm like more like keen to like kind of like a mixed bill. Like, do all these bands play breakdowns? Yes, but do they all have like their own spin? Like they're all doing their own thing, and just out of either any of these bands from these two tours that we have announced, I look at them and I'm like, you're you're in your own lane, doing your own thing, and like I don't know, I love their bands and I like respect them. So I was just like, yeah, we do those. That's what we're gonna go do.
yeah. Well, what a way
So
to start! What a way to start the band out, dude. Like you had 2 years, release like two EPs, a full length, and then two killer tours, like right off that. Like, and you're right. I think now people are more inclined to go to more of a mixed bill show than I'm going to go to a thrash show and it's all thrash or, and they're all like
sure.
very, very similar in style, but everyone has their own
Yep.
you know?
Yep. And that's just what I like. I just, I think for the show setting it's good to have like a little bit of a vibe switch like between everything and yeah, cuz like, you know, we have those two tours announced. We're already talking 2026 right now. We have, some people hitting us up. They want us to do some stuff and those already look cool and exciting. So like I don't know. We're just riding the ride and like just taking it as it comes and like we're just saying yes to what we think is cool. And again, just anyone and everyone. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, I get it. But
Sure.
we will be out there and doing our thing.
That's cool. That's super cool. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
Um, Especially like I fucking love Gates to Hell, dude. I see them every chance that I can, and I
Hmm.
fucking forever will, dude, just because they're great. Like, I'm like, fuck.
They're a badass band, dude. They're
Yeah,
amazing.
for sure.
So
So
that'll be cool.
is out of all the cities you're hitting, is there a place that you're really looking forward to going more than the other place? Any of the other places, I guess?
There are two, one for each respective tour. On August 7th, we're playing Colorado Springs at the Black Sheep on that Boundaries tour. And we played the Black Sheep with Dying Fetus last year. And us going into that tour was like the nerves were high a little bit because like Dying Fetus is like a blueprint band to all of us. Like if you like that band, like, and then you listen to ours, you're gonna see very clearly, like pretty easily, like, oh, these guys are just doing Dying Fetus, like, but they like have like our own spin, I guess, and our own spin is just like being more breakdown intensive, I guess. But like when we played that show, that was our first night with them, and nerves were high. Like I've seen a million of the comments, like if Dying Fetus has like a deathcore band out with them on a headliner, like comments that are like making fun of the deathcore band, like here we go, another deathcore band on the Dying Fetus headliner kind of thing. So I didn't know how that was going to translate to real life, and it didn't translate at all. And we had an awesome show, and from the second the band started, the room immediately opened up and people were engaged and participating, and I was just like, holy shit, like we did it. We did it. So I'm excited to play that venue again, particularly just because that was the show that made me say, oh, I really want to do this. Like I really want to do this band, like for real, and not like kind of give it the sparsity or the scarcity treatment. So I'm very excited for that show, and it's also on my birthday, so it'll be chill.
Yeah, that'll be super cool.
Yeah,
Huh. Birthday shows.
and then in uh, on the Malevolence tour, I think I'm most excited for London. It's the last show of the tour, but I'm super excited for it because I know for Malevolence, this is the biggest headliner that they've ever gone for. And their new record is awesome. And I think I'm just a person, right? But like the reception I've seen looks really good for them, and like people are really into it. And like, yeah, I'm just super excited for that one because I'm sure that's where they're probably swinging big. So I'm like, I think the show's just going to be awesome, and yeah, I'm excited for that whole tour because again, we're just going over to Europe, and this band's never left the country, so I just think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be
I
beast.
I think it will be too. Like again, two killer tours, like band being 2 years old and doing fucking Europe. What? Like, how
It does
often
not
does that
happen
happen?
often. That does
Right.
not happen often.
Yeah. Um, Jesus criminies. Good for you guys, man.
Thank you.
That's fucking awesome. Um, great music. So far, you're a super nice dude. I can only imagine that this translates into the kind of person you are in real life. And like, who doesn't want good people to like have success?
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with that. Like that is like the thing that like I'm kind of looking for whenever I'm looking into other bands and stuff like that. Like, um, yeah, you never want to find out that like someone that makes something you love is like a dickhead or
Yeah.
something. Um, and I don't know, like we don't take ourselves too seriously at all. Like if if anyone saw us on the last tour we did with Angel Maker and kind of just like I don't know what we're like on stage or off stage because like we're just it's just us out there like we don't have like someone selling merch for us or anything like that. Like I'm selling merch or Coulter our other singer like he's selling merch. Sometimes it's Dave our guitar player. Like it's just us. So like I don't know if you went to any of those shows and like you saw like our backdrops and just kind of the way that we're like bantering on stage, like I don't know, like we're just being ourselves, like we're just being us, and like that's it. And like whether it comes to me, my guys, or like any other band, like I always I always really stress with the guys like your reputation is all you have, and like your character matters. So like you got to be good to people no matter
Yeah.
what. So even when it's frustrating. So like that's kind of what you got to do. And so that's what we try to do, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, the other side of that is like I think what people are really looking forward for to today is authenticity. So if you're the same person on stage as you are off stage, people they connect with that. You write music that means something to you. That's where the fan gets interested, and then it translates by, yeah, this is really who I am. I'm not just like really awesome when I'm singing, and then like off stage, I'm like, get away from me. I got other things to do. Like, oh, dude, like be cool across the board.
Yeah,
That's um as crazy as it sounds, being in a band is a sales job, you know?
sure. Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah, it is like in a big way, but like, again, it's just one of those things like character matters. And like, if, if the way you present yourself is who you are at your core, then you don't have to do work to be more or be less to try and, I don't know, sell something. Cause like, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like I don't feel like I'm trying to sell someone something. Like I feel like I'm just like me and my friends made this thing that we really care about and we put a lot of work into, and like I want to have as good of a time with it as I humanly can. And like that's all there is. And
Yeah.
like, so when people resonate with that, or they are just getting into the band, or maybe you're seeing us for the first time and you had never heard of us before, I'm just like, what you see is what you get. Like, this is who we are. And like, and also in a huge way, I'm uncompromising in that way because I'm like, I don't want to be anything else. I don't want to like, so it's like you're a salesman, but also like I'm an anti-salesman because I refuse to be something else. Like
Yeah.
I'm you're never gonna see me like walk on or off stage like we are the shit. Like we are the most epic thing that exists in this, or like I don't know, something just like silly like that, or like trying to like give off like some kind of like strange aura where like it's taken so seriously because like I don't know, man, I'm just a guy. Like, and at the end of the day, like when those shows are over or I'm not on tour or anything, I'm just at home. I'm playing Fortnite. I'm hanging out with my family. Like I'm very much a family guy. So like I'm that's just who I am. Like, and I'm not going to change that for anybody. And I don't
You
think
shouldn't.
anybody else in this band would either.
No, I think that's, again, right. It goes to me, it goes back to like authenticity and even being a salesperson, right? Like you've got, in my mind, there are like two types of like salespeople or just people as a whole. You have the people who are like, this is who I am, right? I listen to heavy music. I love my family. I want to do good things with the people that are around me. And then you also have the people who are like, how can I get this guy to like me and do whatever I want him to do, buy this product or this used car or whatever. And
Yeah.
the successful people are, I think, at the core, true to themselves. And that's, to me, that's what resonates with me. And my day job is a sales job. Like,
Yeah.
so like I'm always looking for authenticity from an artist. Like when I talk to a band, one, the music has to really resonate with me, and that you know this this is what I like. We can just
Yeah.
chit chat back and forth, and whatever fucking happens happens, and it's good shit that comes out.
Yeah. That's it's kind of all that matters. Like, and that's just like, again, that's where the band comes from. Like prior to this band, like any of our past experiences in music, because we've all been around for a second. Like, I don't know, man. Like it's just about being able to chop it up and like at the end of the day, like if I can get to a point of just like telling jokes with like you in the parking lot, like that's a win. I don't care if you bought anything from me. Like, and like also being the kind of band we are, like we're not for everybody. So like I'm one of those guys where it's like I don't really care who is or isn't into the band. Like I care about the people that are into it because like So like, okay, like we'll talk like sales and business, right? Like there's so many numbers that come across your screen. How many streams, listens, views, things like that. I don't really give a shit about those things because like, okay, okay, here's a great example. Dying Fetus. I always go back to Fetus. Dying Fetus, like if you want to like if someone wanted to talk a numbers game with me and try and like downplay Dying Fetus to me, that would be a hard conversation to walk away saying that you were the winner of, because I would be like, dude, Dying Fetus, like if you want to play a numbers game with me, like Dying Fetus doesn't have 1 million listeners or something like that. Dying Fetus has 1,500 people in a room anywhere they're going, and they love them. They
Yeah.
love them. And that's what matters. Who's at the show? Who wants to engage? Who wants to participate with the thing that you're doing? Because like that's the only thing that matters. I could give a shit about your views or anything like that. I care that people are into the thing that you're doing. And inversely, that's what I care about with Psychoframe. I care about who wants to be a part of it now, who wants to participate now while we're doing it and everything, because that matters to me. Because I will participate back. Like,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. That's what it's all about. That is why we do the thing that we do.
I think that's a fair statement, right? Because we can look at streams and video plays or whatever, how whatever way you want, but at the end of the day, it is how many butts are you putting in the seat, and how often, right? As ridiculous as that might sound as far as like sales metrics go, but at the end of the day, for a band, I I think that you'll agree with me, when you go to a town again and you're like, you look out in the crowd, and I'm like this. Anytime I go to a town, go to a show, I'm always looking at the crowd, looking for people that I know. I saw you at the last show, dude. How are you? It's great to see you.
Yep.
Like, because it ends up, it starts off fan of band, a fan of the band, and at the end of the day, where I think it should end up, or at least what everyone's trying to get to, is you become a family. This band brought us together, but now, like, cool, dude.
That's
Like,
the homie.
yeah, 100%.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's good
So,
stuff, man. Like that's
yeah,
that's that's all you got at the end of the day. Like, because look, man, one day the band will break up, right? Every band breaks up, every band stops or whatever. But like, you can have a good experience with it, and like you can cultivate things, like you can, and it just starts with character, man. Everything starts there. So
100%.
that's what
Yep.
we do.
So let me ask you this. Blueprints for an idol genocide, or for idol genocide. That is, tell me what that's about.
Almost inversely everything that we just talked about. um, it's like in a big way, it's just like talking against like the inverse of what we just talked about. Like it is talking against like the salesman band, or like I had to like write out a quote for what the song was about. I think I said something how I was just like, the song is about bad actors in this game, like, and people that don't move with like that same character or the same
People that are moving in weird ways. Yeah,
it just like the I want to say the words ingenuity. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's just like very much like speaking against that, like, and like the things that like other people can be in this for, like money's like an obvious thing, right? Or this, that, and the other. Um, yeah, I mean, like it's like pretty clear cut, but also like that's just like the simple way of saying it.
Yeah. Yeah, so dumb people like me get it. I get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, like, man, like the truth is like, especially with art or with, say, I guess a band like Psycho Frame, like I don't as you can't assume like people are gonna read into it. So like it is kind of good, to just be like, hey man, this is what this is about. Because, there's always like the leave it up to interpretation aspect. But like at the end of the day, like while the song title can, like, you look at it and like maybe perhaps a first thought is what the fuck does that mean? But like when we wrote it out and we were like, no, I think we like this one, I felt like it kind of said it. But at the same time, you still put it out there just so
yeah.
people know.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's a funny thing too, because you have the artists who are like, I want you to interpret it any way you want, right? And then the other artist is like, hey, interpret it however you want. This is what I mean by it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And that, I mean, that happens. Like there's a lot of shit that I love that like I have my take on it as the listener. Is that what that person meant entirely? I don't know, maybe, but like I have my take on it and it means this to me. Like there's totally value there. Like,
yeah.
and I bet honestly there's songs I love that I really, really take to heart that, like, I don't know, if I talk to the person that wrote it, maybe they'll give me a different perspective on it. And I'm like, well, fuck all that. I like mine. I like what I had going on over here a bit more. It's possible, or maybe I didn't get it, and maybe I'm the jackass, right? So
But I think that's the great thing about music is or art as a whole is it's all open to interpretation, right? Whatever you say, like the people that connect with it are the ones that say this is what it meant to me, or whatever. Even if it's the same thing that you feel or someone else, right? It doesn't matter. But that is also why music is like the great connector because it's all interpretation. Like
absolutely,
this is what brings, I mean, to me, it's what brings people together. Like, oh, you felt like this with that song? That's awesome, dude. I felt like this. Like, this is our common ground. This is where we meet. This song made us come together. Like,
yeah, ain't nothing wrong
ah,
with that.
no, no,
That ain't never hurt nobody.
I absolutely love it. That's why I like music. Is it doesn't, in my mind, go into a show again. Like I'm a show goer. I think I've got 4 shows this week that I'm going to.
Yeah,
Um, but I like it because we get in there and nothing matters. Like we are all there for the same reason. We're there to enjoy the band. Like, oh, no politics, no religion, no any other, divisive BS that's going on.
we got this
Um,
for 4 hours.
yeah, yeah, or whatever it is. I think one
Yeah,
of them's like 10 hours, which I'm here for. Yeah.
those ones are long. That's a bit much. We played a show in LA on this last tour, and two tours combined to make one big show. Man, that shit started at 3 p.m. We got there before that for setup and everything and all that. And man, by the end of it, I was just like, dude, fuck this. Fuck this.
Yeah. I have those nights too where I'm like, for me, like a 3 band bill is perfect.
I love a three-band bill. I love it.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
4 bands, I'm like, okay, I can do 4 bands. You start to get into five, and I'm like, after like band 3 on a 5, 6, 7, I'm like, I need a break. I gotta go somewhere, decompress, like,
Yeah.
and then come back.
One of my favorite three-band shows that I ever saw would have had to have been 2018. Um, it was Every Time I Die, Mastodon, and Coheed.
Uh,
And
yes.
amazing. Mastodon it was doing the 10-year for Crack the Sky, which was the main reason I was there. And I love Every Time I Die. So I was like, it's so cool to see them on like this package. And but I went into it, I wasn't a Coheed fan, not because I didn't like them, I just missed it. Like it just didn't happen. I didn't have like people around me growing up that like around the time that Coheed is coming up that were also into that, and it just didn't happen. Everyone knows Welcome Home, but like and like I'd always been like, yeah, that's a great song. Like I just never dove in. So I saw them live, and my friend Daniel was with me because he was also there to see Crack the Sky. And I remember I was talking about maybe like cutting out a little early, something like that. And he said, dude, at least give them 3 songs before you decide. I was blown away. They played for like 2 hours, and the whole time I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this. This is unbelievable. But 3 bands, even if that third band did play for, I mean, 2 hours, I was still completely locked in.
It's so funny that you bring that tour up because same thing. I'd love, I'm a fan of Every Time I Die, fan of Mastodon, never really got into Coheed. Not that I thought they sucked or anything. I just, you know, I don't know. They didn't come across my ears, I guess. So I, my wife and I went to see them here in Louisville. And of course, every time crushes, Mastodon crushes. And I'm like, hey, cool. Like, never really been a big Coheed fan. We're going to leave. So we left.
Yep.
Well, the next night or the night after, whatever, I drove up to Detroit for the same show. And I took my daughter. I'm like, okay, we're going to go see these bands because I know she's going to enjoy Mastodon. My best friend, his wife, and his kid all go. And I'm like, hey, dude, I think after like Mastodon, I'm going to cut out. And he's like, no, you have to watch Coheed. All right, I'll give it a chance. Absolutely blown away with their live
They're
show.
they're amazing. They're
Yeah,
amazing. So from then on, I was like, I'm gonna get into Coheed now, and now I'm a Coheed fan. So
yeah. That's so cool. And so I think it's cool because I often ask people like, what's the band that you saw that made you go, wow. Uh, I think it's really cool that you have had the same experience that I had with
yeah,
that exact show. That was such a
yeah,
killer tour, dude.
yeah. It was an awesome tour, and yeah, it was just great. Every band was phenomenal, but again, I just walked away, you know, being like, I haven't given Coheed a chance, maybe one day, right? And then my friend Daniel was like, dude, just give it three songs, 3 songs. I'm like, okay, I got it, I'll do it. And those 3 songs, I was like, wow, this is so good. Out of like within our sphere of what we're doing, I'd say the first time I ever saw him and was completely blown away was Sanguis Sugabog, because like I didn't see them until they were doing that headliner that they had Gates to Hell and Cruelty on, and the first time seeing actually everybody on that package. They had played Near Me, and I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'm going. Of course, I got nothing to do," and blown away, so good. And then speaking of Bogg, they just put out a new song from the record they did with Kurt Ballou. And oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That track, all everyone in Psycho Frame is freaking out about that track. Like I knew it had come out the day that it did. But I hadn't listened to it yet, and I was like gaming with some of the guys, and uh, just as we're kind of like, ending out the night, they were like, "Have you heard this track yet?" I said, "No, I was probably going to listen to it before I go to bed." And they were like, "You have to. It literally is making me rethink everything." Like, just amazing, amazing song. Um,
Yes.
the mix is so good. Everything about it. I'm just like, that is so good. So yeah, Bog though.
I'm
Bog is my
I'm
answer.
I'm 100% with you. I'm a Sandwich Sugar Bog fan, and often I refer to them as shish kebab just because
Yeah,
everyone knows, but it's Sandwich Sugar Bog. I actually just Devin's in like 50 bands or something
right.
ridiculous, dude. So I went I interviewed him maybe a month ago about Bludgeoned by Deformity.
Yeah,
Have you listened to that?
yep. I've listened to that. It's good.
So I interview him, and it's like 2 or 3 days later, now he lives in Columbus. I'm in Louisville.
Hmm.
I go to Indianapolis to see a band out of Chicago that I like, the Atlas Moth. And who was I talking to? I was talking to Stavros from the Atlas Moth. And I
Yeah,
turn around and there's Devin.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm in a band with Mike from the Atlas Moth. And I'm like, of course you are.
Of
Oh,
course.
fucking,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, holy shit, dude. Just, I thought it was funny. Like, both of us in Indianapolis. Like, all right.
yeah.
Uh, I think that new Bog album is gonna be fucking God. I think a lot of people are gonna be blown away with it.
If the rest of the songs on that record are half as good as that song, it'll probably be my album of the year.
That's that's some fucking big
I
expectations,
love
dude.
that song. That song is so good. I showed it to my wife and I was like, "Have you heard this?" Like we're just like in the car going somewhere. She was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "I need you to stop what you're doing," because like she's like on her phone, and my wife she is on the internet, but not in the social media way. Like she is a deep researcher of many things, and I was like, just put it down for a moment and like just let this thing hit you. And as soon as it was over, she was like, "Will you play it again?" I was like, "Yeah, no complaints. I got you. I'll cue it up 3 times. You want it?" You like?
Yeah,
I was like, "I love this song." So, yeah, amazing live band. But just I can't wait for their new record.
yeah, me neither. When does that come out? Is that an October release?
Yeah, it's October something. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither, because
I'll be
I
there.
know I know your album is July 25th.
Thank God. If I had to put mine out around theirs, I'd be like, fine. They're gonna smoke us.
So when are we gonna get a fucking Psycho Frame Sanguine Sugar Bog tour?
I would all day. I mean, we know each other. Like, um, I have friends in that band. Some of the other guys have like other friends in that band. Their guitar player said, I've been friends with said for over 10 years. So I'm from Indianapolis, and so is said. And so like we've played together in like we've played a million shows together in our own respective bands. Like we are like very deeply tied Hoosier shit. So
That's
like
hilarious.
that time, more than likely to come at some point. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'm there for it.
like yeah, we would do that all day, like we love their band. Um, and like again, like friends of ours, time time could come, like we would gladly do it. So
Hell yeah. You hear that, management? Let's make this happen. They're all friends. Get them out on the road. Who doesn't want to be on the road with their friends?
yeah, easy mode.
Yeah. So do you live in Indianapolis now?
No, I live in St. Louis. I've been living in St. Louis for like 4 years. Got married like during COVID era, and my wife got laid off from her job at the time because of COVID. and then she got a job offer in St. Louis, which is where she's from, and her whole family's here and everything. So it was easy decision. Just be like, okay, yeah, we're getting married. You have a job offer. It's all lining up. Let's do it. So I've been here for
That's
like 4 years now.
that's cool. Uh, so funny story. We keep having these connecting stories. Um, my mom's family is from like the St. Louis area. My mom and my dad met in
Oh
St.
yeah,
Louis. So my dad's been married a handful or more times.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm with wife number three, me and my little brother, which are the last of the children. My dad has two other children from the first two marriages, one from number one from number two.
Sure.
So my oldest sister just moved. She grew up in St. Louis and just moved back to St. Louis like 2 months ago. My next oldest sister, um, I've never met her in my whole life. So she's 55, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So never in my life, never talked to her, never met her, only knew like of her. Well, 2 weeks ago, my oldest sister texted me and said, found her. She found my
Yeah.
next oldest sister. And I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit. So we just recently connected and she lives in St. Louis.
Oh, nice.
So I think I'm coming to St. Louis soon.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I just, I'm like I'm honestly over the fucking moon. We found my sister. And I mean, dude, I've looked for her for more than 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Crazy.
my family also had something like that. We had a long lost brother that we did not know exist. Not my brother, an uncle to me, but yeah, long lost uncle that all of a sudden just kind of showed up. Not like ancestry, like 23andMe kind of thing,
Yeah,
and like one of my aunts did it and had this match, and yeah, now he's the homie.
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's that's super fucking cool.
But a completely different life from everybody else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep, same thing. Like she's not known any of us. She knew our oldest sister, but when she was a baby, she had photos of them together at I don't know when she was probably 2 years old or 3 years old or whatever, but not since. And talking to her, we have like our passions for things. Like my passion for music. I don't make any money doing this. I just want to do it because I want more people to listen to good bands. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Um, she has the same passion, not for like music, but with dogs. Like dogs are her passion. So she does this shit and doesn't make money at it. I mean, I don't think she does. I don't know, but
Yeah.
just does it out of the passion. So it's just really funny to see like the nature versus nurture like argument, like in real life.
I mean, all good things come from love of the game, like whatever your game is, like any show, any band, anything. Like the story goes, tale as old as time itself. A person just started doing a thing, and then other things happened. Like, and that's just it. That's the point of it all. So
Yep.
that's good shit.
Hell yeah. What's your okay, two questions. My and I'm gonna give them to you back to back because they're the same question, just different areas. Favorite venue in Indianapolis, favorite venue in St. Louis.
In Indianapolis right now, um, I'd say Healer. Um, that's a really cool like DIY spot. Like you go in there and there's a bunch of like So the building that they use, like, definitely used to be like a cubicle office building kind of thing. And the way that it's repurposed, so it's like typical day-to-day use is an art space. So people like rent out these cubicles and like make little art installations in them. And and all of them have like their own feel. Everyone's doing like a different thing. And it's just neat. Like the place has like a lot of love put into it, and like and it's colorful. You know what I mean? And like outside of that, like it's just a solid venue. Like like you can have 200-300 people in there and like have a bitchin' show. And like Indianapolis, from everything I've seen, I haven't lived there in some time, but like from everything I've seen, like I keep an ear to the ground, and like I know like some of the people who are active in like the promoter space and like the kind of stuff that they're putting on and the kind of bands that are around. Like it feels like Indy is in a really healthy place, and that's just like awesome to see. And like when I was there, Healer didn't exist, so like it's just cool, So like when I was really there, like we spent a lot of time playing the Hoosier Dome, which plenty of bands are familiar with. Like most, almost any band I know that's played Indianapolis has played the Hoosier Dome, and that was like one of the only places like for like an all ages show that you could go to, and like it just be like pretty fucking awesome. um there were a lot of like shit venues in Indy for some time. Some of them still exist, somehow, but Healer, awesome place, and like they're doing a good thing, and it's just love of the game. Like it's the only thing that works, man. um in St. Louis, my favorite place, I would say, I'm giving two answers,
Cool.
because there's two different vibes. You have Delmar Hall, which is like a very nice venue. Like they have like a really good setup. It's pretty comfortable. Um, and like you can have an amazing show. We played there with Dying Fetus on that Dying Fetus run, and just excellent, awesome show. Like, and it was cool. And comfy, well ran, the whole thing, right? And kind of anything you want, especially when you're on the road. You walk into a venue and you're just like, oh God, without a hitch. Thank you, God. Um, it's a good spot. My other favorite spot is the Sinkhole, which is pretty small. Like it's maybe a 100 cap, but they definitely will put more bodies in there. And I mean, let the name speak for itself. It's the Sinkhole. Like
Yeah.
it is, this is a DIY spot, and like they have cool bands come through. The people that are booking here try and bring cool shit all the time. Um, and like it's one of those places like I encourage bands to come through, like if they're not trying to do some big show like a big package or anything. um I most recently saw Koyo from Long Island there, and it was awesome. Like they definitely oversold the room and like put mad bodies in there, and it was such a good show. It was a great show.
I love that.
And they walked away too. They were like, "This is the kind of stuff we love. Like these like because like you're just playing on the floor. There's no stage, you know.
Right.
Um, and like again, like if you're a band that's in it for the love of the game, and the people see that, resonate, and respond with the same thing, it it's just good. It's just good stuff. And those kinds of things happen at that venue. And um, yeah, those are my two answers for
Sweet.
St. Louis.
The smaller shows, I feel like anytime you go to a show, right, part of that whole vibe is the crowd. So if you get in, you cram a bunch of people into a small venue, and maybe it's 100 cap and you've got 120 or 130 in there, that just that energy is bursting out just as much as the amount of people in that room. It,
Yeah.
totally adds to it. Now, so I've not been to a lot of venues in St. Louis. Um, there was one, God, when was I there? Probably 30 years ago, called Mississippi Nights. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Oh, I don't know nothing about this. Yeah.
Yeah, that was way, way back. I gotta think. Um, there's a radio station. It might still be on the air. I don't know. It was 105.1, The Point.
Oh
Um,
yeah. They're still around.
that was the alternative station. So,
Yep.
that's
Those that station is still around. They still go strong. They have this thing every year called Point Fest, and
yep.
it's always like a, big blowout like event for them. And I went to one last year actually. Granted, I'm not from here, so to me, I'm just like, I don't know, we're going to this show because someone's playing and they invited, my wife, and I'm just along for the ride, which is kind of my favorite sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I like being like kind of the guy that just gets brought along to stuff my wife like does or whatever, because I don't know, it's just fun. I don't know what the concoction is on that potion, but it is something that I like.
That's whatever, dude. Whatever you like. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
But
Um,
yeah, we went and did one of those, and it was fun. It was mad chill.
hell yeah. Yeah, I went, it was probably 95 when they had Point Fest way back then.
Yep, still
30
going
years.
strong.
That's so wild. Good for them, dude. Good for them. Man, they turned me on to a lot of really, really good music way back when. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm very
they're I mean
grateful for that.
they're still playing. Like they're always doing like newer relevant things. Like they like in indie art alt station. Shit, I don't even think it exists. Or they definitely changed stations and someone else, a change of the guard kind of thing. So I don't know, but the point they've stayed. Doesn't
Hell
seem like
yeah.
they're going. So
Good for them. That's awesome. That's something that works. So, do you know? I mean, obviously you're familiar with like the region that we are in
oh yeah,
with that
I'm a
boundaries.
Midwest boy.
Yeah, that boundaries tour. What cities in that area are you guys hitting?
I know we're not doing like any Ohio or Indiana. Um, and even with Kentucky, I'm pretty sure we play Knoxville on that off the top of my head. But we're not doing Louisville. Um, and then we are playing St. Louis. And then like we're doing some like North Midwest stuff. So like we're playing Grand Rapids. And
Is that
why do
at the
I
Pyramid
always
Scheme?
I think it is Pyramid Scheme. Um, and then we're playing. I don't know how I'm forgetting this. It was the first show of the tour that sold out, and then we added a second day to it. I want to say is Wichita. It can't be Wichita. It's not. I know it's not.
Dude, it could be. Like, those Wichita people are kind of nuts.
Our Wichita show on the Angel Maker tour is really good. Um, I'm about to pull the flyer up.
Yeah, I
We're
was
doing
like,
it.
I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Milwaukee. That's
Oh,
the one.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing Milwaukee. We're doing Kansas City as well in Missouri. Um, but yeah, it looks like Michigan, Missouri, Wisconsin. That's all we're doing for the Midwest, which is unfortunate. I really do want the band to play like Indianapolis or Columbus, like really bad.
Yeah.
Um, but we're brewing up some ideas right now, so we will play those places
Yeah.
at some at it. We will play them in 2026, but we will play them.
They will be there. You'll
We'll
be
figure it
ready.
out. We'll figure it out.
Yes. Yeah. That'll be cool. I think that tour is gonna crush. Obviously, killer lineup. Um, for all of you listening and watching, make sure you catch one of these dates. Obviously, they're selling out, much like all of the pre-sales, so you don't want to miss out. If you can't get the album, which you can get some, you gotta hit the show.
And we'll have
Okay,
some with us on the tour as well. We'll have physical media. So
all right.
yeah,
So I'm a vinyl nut. Do you guys have that? Are you gonna have the Blob on tour?
we're not gonna have the blob. The blob is yeah, the blob is gone. Um, and I don't think it's getting repressed. Um, because our thing right now is like we want everything to be accessible, but we're still going to run things in like different colorways, stuff like that. So like
Yep.
right now we're doing this like black and green one um that we had like put up the same day we did the last single, and those are the ones that we're going to have with us on the tour.
Right on. Okay. That's cool. Like, I'm a little bummed out because I didn't get the Blob, but I will find it. Somehow, some way, I will find it.
Someone's going to put it up on the internet. It's going to happen.
Yep. That's what the
Vinyl
internet's
does
for.
vinyl does not stick around in many collections. You know,
No.
people they're like trading cards to like people that love vinyl. Like they really are. Um, I'm not that way with vinyl. Like whenever I'm buying it, I don't look at it as in like a collector piece kind of way. So like I just bought a vinyl like a couple weeks ago that I found out in the wild, and it was the new Jason Isbell record, and I love it. And when I saw it in the wild, I'm just like, yeah, I'm buying this because I love this record, and I'm just
That's
like,
cool.
I'm just gonna hang on to it forever. Like I don't care about its variant pressing, things like that. I just love the record, and I'm just glad I have one, you know. Um, so yeah,
I I am the collector. When I buy it, it doesn't leave my possession.
yeah,
So there are albums over there where I have the same album six times and everything is a different variant.
right,
I just ordered there's this band that I love a lot called Spotlights. They're out of New York, I think. So their first album titles, I couldn't find a pressing, I was looking for a pressing to do a giveaway on the channel, and I found a French variant they had repressed, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm ordering one of those to go with this and one for me.
yeah,
Holy shit, so
yeah.
great. I love it. Okay, Mike, I know you've got things to do. Dude, I greatly appreciate your time. I've had a great time chatting with you tonight.
Same.
Um, I'm gonna have to just figure out what show I'm going to. I guess I'll catch you at a show.
Yeah, I will be around, probably behind the
Hell,
table.
hell yeah. Awesome. Well, dude, go have yourself a great night and safe travels.
Of course. Thanks so much, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. See ya.